Election Day is just a week away. Today we're breaking down the ballot for College Station, how your vote can be affecting the city. And Day of the Dead celebrations are being held across Bryan and College Station, where you can join in the festivities. Your KRHD News starts right now.
Connecting the Brazos Valley, this is KRHD News.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Rebecca Fiedler. In Chicago, in Kansas City, even here in Texas, several were killed and injured in shootings across the country at Halloween celebrations. Reporter Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
For many, what is meant to be a fun night with family and friends,
it's disturbing.
Ended in fear.
Taking the lives of people is not the answer. And I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Kansas City police say one person was killed and at least 6 others were injured in a shooting Monday night. Police say as many as 100 teens were at the house party when a group of uninvited guests were asked to leave.
As they left, they started shooting up the house, shooting randomly.
In Chicago, another community suffering a mass shooting.
We have up to 14 people shot at various ages, as young as 3.
Chicago police say people gathered for a vigil Monday night on a busy corner in the city when 2 people traveling in a dark SUV opened fire around 9:30. At least 7 victims are dealing with serious injuries.
Let's right now treat this in the most urgent way. We're trying to find an offender.
And in Texas, 28-year-old Takeoff, a member of platinum-selling rap group Migos, was shot and killed early Tuesday morning in downtown Houston.
There was a private party being held at the event last night that ended at approximately 1 a.m., but the party carried over till about 2 a.m. till they were cleared out. That's when the shooting occurred.
According to Gun Violence Archive, there have been 573 mass shootings so far this year. The group defines a mass shooting as at least 4 people being shot, excluding the shooter. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
As we continue our midterm election coverage, we're taking a look at the bond propositions for College Station. KRHD reporter Diamond Dixon is explaining what a bond is and what those propositions are covering.
As early voting is underway, we're covering the basics of voting. First, what is a bond? A bond is when state government or local government asks voters to approve additional spending.
So this is a way that a city finances there over a long term for large capital projects and large developments that they may not have money for in their operating budgets, in their normal operating budgets.
Now we take a look at propositions A and B. The city of College Station has seen significant population growth since their last fire station opened in 2012, and there's a need for an additional station on the south side of town. Proposition B is to expand Rock Prairie Road east from Town Lake Drive to William D. Fitch Parkway, increasing from 2 lanes to 4. David Higdon serves as co-chair of the Citizens Advisory Board and says this gives College Station residents an opportunity for their voice to be heard.
But this is a real opportunity for the democratic process, if you will, to participate and say, hey, listen, this is what we think are priorities. That we agree with those priorities or we don't.
Coming up at 6, we'll go more in depth on propositions C, D, and E listed on your ballot. In College Station, Diamond Dixon, KRHD News.
Thanks, Diamond. If you're planning on voting on these propositions, early voting will be open until Friday. Here's where you can go. There are 5 voting locations in Brazos County. They include the Election Administration Office in Bryan, Arena Hall, and Galilee Baptist Church. And over in College Station, the City Utilities Meeting and Training Facility and the new City Hall. The MSC will not be a location for early voting, but will be on Election Day. A&M students can take shuttles to City Hall during early voting. The Bryan Animal Center is in a state of desperation right now, low on adoptions and high on animal intake, especially dogs. They need your help to foster or adopt. The Bryan Animal Center is currently between 15 and 20 dogs over its normal capacity, having to fit as many as 3 dogs in a single kennel. Last year, the shelter did have to euthanize 2 dogs due to lack of space.
Just because we were over capacity, some dogs were staying here too long, unfortunately, and it's just unfortunate that we have to do that at times. We don't like to do that. It takes a huge burden on the staff to do stuff like that.
While they're not quite to that point yet, if more people don't step forward to foster or adopt, some difficult decisions may need to be made. Shelter staff say that there's been a heavy intake of strays off the streets and very few adoptions. If you'd like to foster or adopt an animal from the Bryan Animal Center, you can visit the shelter's website for a list of dogs and cats ready to go to good homes. We'll also link you to their page on our website, krhdnews.com. The Moore Family Creamery opened up just 2 weeks ago, and it's already become a special place for A&M students and members of the community to grab ice cream or baked goods and enjoy the views of Aggie Park. Texas A&M is a special place for Kent Moore and his wife Debbie, both A&M grads. But beyond them, they've got a family full of Aggie alums, as well as many future Aggies that Kent wanted to include in the creamery.
Just being here and being recognized as being part of it means a lot, I think. And I didn't want it to just be Debbie and me. I wanted the whole family to be included. So since we all are A&M graduates, you know, it was appropriate to put all the names up.
If there was any worry that any of their 10 grandchildren might venture off to other schools, they're already pretty ingrained in the Aggie culture.
It's really in the blood. I mean, we go to all the home football games, so they know all the songs and all the yells, and when to stand up. And I think they feel a part of it, you know, that they know granddad and grandmother, you know, that something was done here. And so I think it's been fun, a fun thing for us to do as a family.
We'll have more from the Moore Family Creamery at 6. Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead translated in English, is a Mexican holiday honoring those who have passed away. KRHD's Chris Talley spoke with the owner of Casa Rodriguez in downtown Bryan about their celebration tomorrow.
Honoring our loved ones is a huge part of Dia de los Muertos. Immortalizing friends, family, and those we lost becomes a celebration of their life even after death, is what Debbie Rodriguez, owner of Casa Rodriguez, says is very important.
My sister Carolina, a couple of years ago, she, said, hey, let's bring awareness. Let's, just do a Dia de los Muertos event. And then the movie Coco came out, and a lot of the, people kind of caught it and understood it a little bit more.
From candles to flowers, crosses to sugar skulls, and pan de muerto, Rodriguez has their ofrenda, or altar, is all ready for their celebration Tuesday evening.
This will be our second annual Dia de los Muertos. And of course, as you can see, the altar behind us, ofrenda. It's just to represent our loved ones that have passed on, and we do an altar in their honor. Tomorrow we will have the event, which is free. We'll have vendors, we'll have DJs, it's free, of course, like I said.
Abigail Noel with Destination Bryan says before this annual celebration, there was none like this to highlight Mexican culture locally.
There really wasn't a big Dia de los Muertos celebration in the BCS community, and so Casa Rodriguez started that last year. And we as Destination Bryan were so excited that they did that and made those efforts to do so, because it's a very important thing to celebrate. We're so excited for another opportunity just to celebrate the Hispanic culture in any way, shape, and form.
And a traffic reminder for the event Tuesday starting at noon. Bryan Avenue from William J. Bryan Parkway will be closed until 11 p.m. as well as 23rd Street and 24th Street and Parker to Main Street. Plan your commute ahead of town, commuting in and out around downtown Bryan.
The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates by 0.75 percentage point tomorrow. It will be the fourth jumbo rate hike in 6 months.
What makes this so significant is that we started from what were as rock bottom, record low levels of interest rates, and we're now seeing this breakneck pace of rate increases. And just how high the Fed has to go is really much a moving target.
The rate hikes make major purchases more expensive. An average car buyer would pay about $1,000 in extra interest due to the rising rates, while a $300,000 home could cost you $200,000 more in interest. Now, the higher prices are destroying demand. Analysts say the car industry outlook is negative, while home sales have fallen every month since January.
What you've seen is the housing market has come to full circle. It's really slowed from what had been a frenetic pace to a near standstill now.
Because of the conditions, experts believe this may be the last jumbo rate hike for a while. Fed Chairman Jerome Powell said in September that at some point it will become appropriate to slow the pace of rate hikes while we assess how our policy adjustments are affecting the economy. A new analysis is showing just how the rate hikes are also impacting government spending. $475 billion has been spent on interest this year. That is $120 billion more than last year. Financial analysts say if this continues, U.S. could spend more on interest than on the entire defense budget by 2025. That was at $767 billion this year.
We are in Fresno County, which has very alarming rates of food insecurity, but we are about to follow a local nonprofit that is hoping to serve as a national model. They're going to be picking up food from grocery stores that would have otherwise been thrown away and donating it to communities in need.
All the food that we recover so far are retail store, school, and we also work with like warehouse, orchard warehouse. We have a lot of orchard in our town here in the surrounding area, so we partner with them.
Living in a time when so much divides people, nonprofit Fresno Metro Ministry aims to unite through food.
Should I go check produce first?
Every day, Vu Vang drives to schools, grocery stores, and food processors to collect food that is likely at its expiration date, but still safe to eat.
This one's right there. Okay. Oh, the whole cart?
This food recovery program started 6 years ago.
So what's not good, we leave it here, and they will put in the compost.
The people behind it, like Imogen Nelson, say they are passionate about feeding the hungry.
I was the kid who was at the food pantries, at the missions, hungry, didn't have anything to eat, and needed someone to care about me. That was something I yearned for. You know, we went days without eating. I used to eat out of the trash cans when I was a little girl, just to have food so you can really survive.
Keith Berchthold, who leads the nonprofit, says in the past 6 years, they've recovered more than 8 million pounds of healthy food that would have otherwise been thrown away. Their success inspired a recent California law that requires grocery stores to donate the maximum amount of edible food that would otherwise be disposed.
We're making sure that we don't just take anything with us just because we're doing the program, but we're making sure that people can still actually eat them.
In fact, we were contacted by the state to actually give input on how that state law should be structured.
He says the model they have built can be replicated across the country to battle food insecurity. That model includes food recovery and distribution, nutrition education, community gardens, and neighborhood food hubs.
We didn't organize to give an individual family food. We organized to give agencies that were already serving the community more food, and to train them how to do it in an efficient way and not to re-waste food.
Look at all those pineapples. We gotta share the pineapples.
From food pickup to food drop-off a couple hours later, we got to witness the impact this food is having on people in the community.
You wanna put it over there?
Usually a lot of families, they line up from 8:30 in the morning when we first open, all the way up until noon, just waiting for us to bag it so that we're ready to pass out to all the families that need this type of food.
Fresno Metro Ministry says they're helping people feel cared for, allowing them to go home with full stomachs and full hearts.
The best thing that you can always do when you know there's a problem is to get in there and do your part.
In Fresno, California, I'm Elizabeth Ruiz reporting.
We have seen quite a bit of cloud cover across the area today, and that's kept the temperatures in the 60s and low 70s across the region. And it's been pretty thick from time to time. We've seen a few showers as well. Everything has been rather light across the Brazos Valley as the more significant moisture has been down to the southeast. But again, a few sprinkles around from time to time, not even all of this reaching the ground. But notice how it's pushing off to the east now and away from the Brazos Valley, but still some pretty good cloud cover. That will be decreasing as we head into the evening hours. You can already see the back edge back toward Austin and I-35. And again, that will continue to scoot its way right across the Brazos Valley and out of here and we'll be between storm systems as we make our way through the next couple of days. Here's your future track showing that system departing the area. Then we head into Wednesday, going into Thursday. Not too much happening. This is more just moisture moving in than anything else, so not really counting that as much in the way of rainfall. But our next storm system will be pushing into the west. That will get closer to us, and as we head into Friday, especially by the late afternoon and evening hours, thunderstorms will become a higher probability. So make sure you have plans for your Friday night to have the umbrella with you. And we may have some stronger thunderstorms as well. So that'll be something that we'll continue to track. But after midnight, that pushes off to the east. And I think by Saturday morning, by 7 o'clock, it's all east of us. And that will lead us to a nice Saturday afternoon. So yes, the storm system has sped up just a little bit from where we had it yesterday across the region, and it should be a pretty nice weekend across our area. So tonight, temperatures will be down into the 50s. We'll go about 55, Bryan, College Station, 53 in Hearn and Franklin. Then tomorrow, upper 70s, near 80 degrees for us. It's going to be a warm one out there. As we check your forecast, about 80 for tomorrow, 83 on Thursday with partly to mostly cloudy skies. Friday, decent shot of thunderstorms, especially by the late afternoon and evening hours, 70% on that. Maybe a lingering shower before sunrise Saturday morning. But overall, not a bad Saturday at all. Remember, we fall back this weekend. Saturday night, you get that hour's sleep back. And by Election Day, we're looking nice with highs in the 80s.
Taking empty storefronts and bringing them back to life coming out of the pandemic is a difficult feat for any city. Some cities have made a bold decision to offer free rent. Jesse Cohen shows us how one city is hoping to become the model for this new approach.
In any downtown, it's easy to see the changes that have resulted from the pandemic. But in downtown Denver, those empty storefronts are becoming new chances.
Your matcha tea latte with almond milk. It was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, I guess, to be able to get the space in such a prime location, too. Hello.
When you walk into Tea with Tay, you are immediately transported to different countries.
$7 is your total.
Through the aromas and the flavors of their teas. While they are taking customers to other parts of the world, they didn't land on their feet in Denver on their own.
As we look at the future, we are really looking to jumpstart local business, to support our entrepreneurs, and to re-enliven the ground floor and the things that people love about being in a downtown area.
Krhd Garrett is the president and CEO of the Downtown Denver Partnership, an organization working with the city and county, along with properties to bring new businesses to storefronts.
The uniqueness of our program is that A, we're going out, we're recruiting local entrepreneurs. B, we're involving the city and county of Denver. That's helping with a lot of the funding. And then we're also bringing those landlords to the table with sophisticated leases that guarantee these spaces for these tenants for a certain amount of time.
Each business is getting at least 3 months of free rent in a prime location storefront. That's in addition to a stipend for things like marketing and design.
I think retail is a very interesting industry because it reflects consumer behavior. So as consumer behavior changes, retail districts really need to update themselves and think about what will capture people's imagination.
As the Director of Economic Development, Sarah Wiebinson says we are seeing this across the country. So to stay relevant, this is the time to help new businesses make those changes.
It's bringing life back to vacant spaces that were, just standing empty for, in some cases, 2 years or more.
Tea with Tay is a great example of what can happen across the country. As a new business that started in April of 2020, primarily online, wholesale, and direct-to-consumer, they hadn't imagined a brick and mortar for quite some time.
It was something that we're like, oh my goodness, this would be so cool for the business to have a physical location one day, but that was in my mind, 5 years at least down the road.
Pop-Up Denver sped up that process with subsidized rent, reduced startup costs, permitting paperwork, and access. Those with the partnership say they are creating a handbook for other cities to follow. But what's most important are the partnerships between the city and the properties.
We started the program with 5 spaces and had over 150 applicants. So the appetite is there. We just have to build the ecosystems and the support to be able to grow those local businesses.
They are about to embark on phase 2.
We have the funding to double the program, so we will have 10 pop-ups.
And with knowledge of how successful this can be, they want to be a model for other American cities.
We really want to bring those lessons to other communities,
giving new entrepreneurs a runway to long-term lease-paying success. In Denver, I'm Jessie Cohen reporting.
World News Tonight is just ahead, and we're back in 30 minutes for KRHD News at 6. Until then, have a good evening.